Welcome to another episode of the Harvey Hour. My name is Stephen Harvey. Today is Tuesday, October 18th. We are starting a little bit early today. My dad will join us in just a couple of minutes, but we've had some developments over the course of the NFL, and we've seen some differences as we normally do per week. But let's jump right into the show. We're going to open with Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys, along with, obviously, Cooper Rush. So, Dak Prescott is set to return Week 7 at the Lions. This was always the plan, really. Cooper Rush was never the 100% starter, going to finish out the year, and I don't think anyone really expected that. Were fans genuinely surprised that Cooper Rush could maintain the Cowboys' leads and not throw the games away? I'm sure people were. That's why Jerry Jones sort of entertained, the potential of a quarterback controversy. He was sort of, enthralled by the idea that, maybe Cooper Rush is the next guy, sort of have that Tom Brady effect. But I don't think that was ever a serious sort of. I don't think Jerry Jones actually believed that himself. But Cooper Rush had his first incredibly ugly game. He took his first career loss at the hands of the Eagles, and it wasn't a pretty win at all. Eagles won 26-17, but the first half, especially the second quarter, as the Eagles have been doing all year in the second quarter, they've been absolutely dominating teams. Scored 20 points in the second quarter, and that was a majority of their points. They scored 26 of the game, and the 6 came in the fourth quarter. The first quarter, it was a 0-0 ball game, kept it relatively close. Then the second quarter, the Eagles, I think they've outscored opponents by like 80 points, some record number. The Cowboys could only score 3. The defense could not stop Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. They could not stop the run, and I don't think that was that surprising because the Eagles are legit because the Cowboys have a top 3 defense and maybe even a top 2 defense. I think it's between them and a healthy 49ers team. They could battle out for who's number 1, and even the Bills are up there as well. The Bills, of course, are up there. I think the Bills are technically a number 1 team, but Cowboys are a top 3 defense. They have been all year. Micah Parsons, he's tied for the league lead in sacks, and the Cowboys could not stop the Eagles. The Eagles are a legit team. People were wondering, like, oh my God, the Eagles, are they legit? They have such an easy schedule. Well, you got to take what you have, right? If the schedule's easy for the Eagles, well, if they go, I was looking at their schedule, there's a lot of very, very winnable games this year. So the Eagles, and I guess that's why they were the most bet team to make it out of the NFC, was because of their easy schedule. And I now understand why. I had the Eagles originally being in second place in this division to the Cowboys. They're going to be the number 1 in the division for me. There's no doubt about that. Any doubt in my mind. The Eagles are going to win that division, and they're going to do really, really well. It's just a question of when they make it to the playoffs, can they keep up with the rest of the NFC? And the NFC looks pretty bad right now. The NFC looks very, very bad. The Packers, I have them missing the playoffs. I've had them missing the playoffs. Next Tuesday, I'm going to be doing my final draft, the updated standings for me. I said that I'm allowed 2 changes in the year. Week 1, I get to change it because I made the standings in the preseason. So I get 1 change week 1 because, injuries and everything like that. And then in the middle of the year, week 8. So going into week 8, I will give my updated and final standings, and this NFL season has been very, very weird, so a lot of question marks, I guess you could say, for when I make the standings, but the Cowboys are going to go with Dak Prescott, and I want to talk about the Eagles game, obviously, because Dak Prescott's coming in next week. He said he was 100% healthy, so he could have played against the Eagles, supposedly. Cooper Rush was bad. 18 of 38 passing, 181 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. It was a very, very bad game. The plus side is that this was Cooper Rush's only bad game so far in his 6 starts as a starter in the NFL. He's right now ranked 6th in QBR, scale is 0 to 100. That is over players who are above average to great quarterbacks. His yards per completion was top 10. He was getting the ball downfield. Better than some quarterbacks you might be thinking. Justin Herbert. He's above Justin Herbert. His yards per attempt were down the field. Top 10, top 15. So he wasn't all dink and dunk. He was taking shots. And most of the time, they were successful. And in this game, played a very, very bad game. But that's in large part due because the Eagles are a legit team. I don't want to hear that the Eagles, yes, they do have an easy schedule, but the way they're an incredibly dynamic offense. Their defense is nothing to laugh at either, but their offense is where the spark is. Miles Sanders had a great game, 18 carries, 71 yards, and a touchdown. Jalen Hurts, he doesn't need to pass it that much. 15 of 25 completions, 155 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. A.J. Brown, A.J. Brown's having the same effect as Josh Allen with Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen. A.J. Brown's having the exact same effect. I brought up the mystery QB comparison not too long ago, basically where the 3 years of growth, the first 2 without a true number 1, and then that third year, Josh Allen got Stephon Diggs, Jalen Hurts now has A.J. Brown, and we're seeing what the Eagles can do. Yes, their schedule is a little bit favorable towards them, but the truth is, I think they're very, very good. They're an incredibly good offense, a very incredibly dynamic offense, and I'm sorry, this is just the truth. So this is what we're given with. So Dak Prescott is set to return. Is it a smart move? Of course it is. Dak Prescott is a more athletic quarterback than Cooper Rush. He has a better arm than Cooper Rush. It's just a question mark of can he perform after his injury that he suffered in week 1. So I think it's okay. I say it's a smart move. This is going to happen. It was funny entertaining the idea that Cooper Rush might be able to beat out Dak Prescott, but I don't think that was ever going to happen. But it was definitely cool to see Cooper Rush. And you know what? Cooper Rush is probably a top 3 backup quarterback in the NFL. So I think it's him. Bailey Zappi looks very, very good. 300 yards this past game against the Browns. So I'll take it as a smart move. The loss is bad. The loss is very, very bad. The defense, like I said, could not stop the run at all. Let's just take a look at the stats here. The Cowboys actually had more total yards, more yards per play. It's just the Eagles were more efficient on third down. They were also better on fourth down. They were 1 of 1. They had 4 more plays. The Eagles, it's incredible how the Eagles actually got this win. The Eagles allowed 4 more sacks. Cowboys allowed 0. The Eagles punted more. The penalties also killed them. The Cowboys last year were the most penalized team in the NFL. They're going that way again. I don't know if it's a rookie. I think it's a rookie who was the most penalized player in college, and the Cowboys drafted him. So, and he's already shown that he has a lot of penalties already. But Cooper Rush again, 3 interceptions. It was a very, very ugly game. But we have to take the Eagles at what they are so far. We can't say, because the Eagles are playing bad teams, they're not legit. Well, look at how they're playing. The Vikings are 5-1. Their only loss is to these Eagles. So we have to say that Justin Jefferson in the Eagles game was nowhere to be found. Darius Slay, legit. James Bradbury, legit. They also have C.J. Garner-Johnson. He got hurt in the game, came back, and played well. So like I said, we have to just take the Eagles at what is being given. Micah Parsons was sort of dead in this game, sort of a non-factor. The Eagles have probably the best offensive line in the league. Probably the best offensive line. Lane Johnson, I feel like this guy hasn't given up a sack in like 3 years. He's incredible. Parsons was shut down, though, and the Cowboys will go as far as the defense will carry it, especially Micah Parsons, because Micah Parsons, I think, is a more valuable piece to that Cowboys defense than Trayvon Diggs is, because last year Trayvon Diggs almost gave up 1,000 yards when being thrown to, but Johnson got hurt in the game, and still, the Cowboys just couldn't stop really anything. So I'm a little bit surprised about how just bad the Cowboys defense was. But you know what? It's something we have to come to realize. Cowboys defense will be back. Eagles are a legit team. And with that said, we're going to move on to our next topic, and I'm happy to say, welcome to the show, Dad. How you doing?
Good. Happy to be here.
All right, so we're gonna start with our next topic. We're talking about last night, Monday Night Football. It wasn't too bad. But it seems like all these primetime games are usually low-scoring duds, generally. So last night, Chargers were able to win in overtime thanks to, I believe it was a 39-yard field goal by Hopkins, who was very, very hurt. Every kick, he would come to one knee or on the ground. He was hurt in the game, still able to come into the clutch and win. Wilson in the second half, as you can see here in the topic board, second half in overtime, 3 of 11 for 15 yards. 3 of 11 for 15 yards. So, what was your takeaway from last night? What did you think of this game?
Both teams tried very hard to lose the game, and the Broncos succeeded.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't think either team looked very good. I mean, the overtime, they went back and forth before the Chargers. They couldn't move the ball down the field. They got lucky on the fumble on the punt.
Right.
You know, if that hadn't happened, they probably would have ended a tie.
Right.
I think that's what I think, and I think eventually the Broncos coaching staff gave up on Wilson. They were just trying to run the ball, unsuccessfully, and I don't know, Russell Wilson. Either it's a problem with the design of the offense for him, because he was good in Seattle last year. I mean, it's not like he wasn't terrible.
He wasn't terrible.
I mean, he was better designed for Seattle's offense than he is for what the Broncos are trying to do. Maybe they should just go to whatever Seattle was doing to see if they can break him out of his funk. He started out good. He was 10 of 10. He was 10 of 10. He looked pretty good. Then he just lost it. I don't know what the story is there. I don't know.
It's something to think about. Russell Wilson this year is completing just under 50% of his throws. He does have 1,400 yards, but this is the lowest scoring team in the NFL. They're averaging just about 15 points a game. The red zone, this red zone offense is the worst in the league. I'm surprised they didn't put up more points because J.C. Jackson was getting cooked all game. This year he's allowing 140-plus passer rating when thrown at. Like, this guy had 22 interceptions in 3-4 years. 9 interceptions. 8 interceptions. 17 interceptions in 2 years. And and this guy's making, large sums of money, and he's not playing up to it. So, and then he actually ended up getting benched in the second half against the Broncos. But right now, this is just a bad team. The Broncos are bad. The Chargers should have done better, I feel like. Mike Williams seemed to have been just shut out. Asante Samuel...
They didn't throw to him that much.
I think he got, I saw it, in the fourth quarter, or maybe even overtime. He had, 5 targets, 1 catch for, 5 yards or something like that. It wasn't anything good. But both teams, at least the Chargers, they should have played much better. Austin Eckler, he was okay. Nothing too great. The past couple games, he's been playing pretty well, a couple touchdowns here and there. But I was just very, very surprised with how bad the Broncos are. I've said this countless times.
Their defense is good.
Countless times.
Their defense is very good.
Nathaniel Hackett is an offensive head coach, and the offense is the worst in the league.
Yeah.
At least get your side of the ball correctly.
I know.
That's the one thing. If the defense slips up, that's reasonable. But your offense is horrible. And that's putting into line.
He should give up calling the plays. Give it to somebody else to try, because he's a failure at it.
I would say, if we were talking on a hot scale of 1 to 5, I'd say he's probably a 4 out of 5 on the hot seat scale, because his clock management's bad.
Yeah.
His offense is terrible, the worst in the league. And this letting Russ cook thing, well, he's serving burnt food because he's been playing horrible. We're talking about he's been Pro Football Focus. He's been consistently, high 80s, mid to low 90s, and now he's terrible. He's mid 50s, and I think his weapons, they got a little bit worse because you're going from DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett to Jerry Jeudy and Courtland Sutton.
Those guys are pretty good.
Yeah,
though.
but before Courtland Sutton's injury, he was a great receiver. Jerry Jeudy seemed very promising. This offense is horrible. Drew Lock was having more success, and Teddy Bridgewater was having more success than Russell Wilson is, and the offense is essentially the same.
Well, Geno Smith is...
Geno Smith's doing great.
Yeah.
Geno Smith's doing great. He just beat up on the Cardinals.
So you got to think that some of it is the coaching of the Broncos.
Yes.
Not all Russell Wilson.
But he has a very huge part in the failure. I mean, just look, 3 of 11 for 15 yards.
Well, he's not comfortable in that offense, that's for sure.
In 3 quarters.
But he still has a strong arm. I mean, it's not like his
deep ball doesn't seem to be there.
Skills.
He doesn't use it. He doesn't use it. He doesn't run. And that's a huge part of why he was so successful.
Okay, well, that's part of the offensive design then. They're a different design, and it doesn't seem to be working. Not working at all.
My take, if the Broncos make the playoffs, this is going to be the first time in NFL history a team who is dead last in points per game makes the playoffs.
What's their record now?
They're 2-4.
I don't think they're making the playoffs.
I don't have them making. I had 3 teams.
I didn't pick them to make the playoffs.
You said before the year, once the Russell Wilson trade got made, you said, well, the team's unproven. Everyone's just hyped because Russell Wilson's going on a team that's offensive minded. Nathaniel Hackett, the reason why the Broncos signed him, I think, in large part, was due to the fact that they thought Aaron Rodgers was coming because Nathaniel Hackett was an OC for the Packers.
Yeah.
So they thought maybe, we got the offensive coordinator here. Maybe Aaron Rodgers would be like, the offense won't change that much because my OC's here. And it turns out Aaron Rodgers decides to stay. And now you have Russell Wilson, who seems to be lost on a lot of it. I think Russell Wilson, if he stays like this, I think there's going to be question marks into what his placement is when it's time for him to go to the Hall. Or if he even is going to the Hall. Because he had a decent to really good... The argument I have is that Russell Wilson, I say right now, I would say he is a Hall of Famer. First ballot is a little bit in question because the Seahawks never had
he won a Super Bowl.
That's true, but only one time. One time.
He also lost one.
One time in his career did the Seahawks have a top 10 offense under Russell Wilson. One time. Most of the time they had a top 10 rushing game and they had a top 3 defense for 5 years. So I would say it's a lot of question marks coming in for the Broncos, but the Chargers, they need to play better. They got the win thanks to, Hopkins kicking a field goal when he was
That guy's
hurt.
tough.
Yeah.
He played when he was hurt.
It was very,
if he hadn't done that, they would have lost.
Probably, or it could have gone to a tie.
They had 4 field goals, right?
Could have been a tie. I think with the way they were playing.
No,
back
but he
and forth.
kicked 4 field goals. So he got hurt on the first one.
Right. Yeah, no. He was very, very strong. Every kick, he would go down on one knee and wince in pain. But it's bad. Russell Wilson is tied for last in passing touchdowns. It's bad. I think Russell Wilson is cooked. I don't think he's burnt food. He's cooking he's burning the food here because that Russell. First of all, that Seahawks trade looks like a steal now. Couple of firsts, Noah Fant, who was a pretty good tight end, a 2nd round pick in there. It's looking like a steal. It's looking like a steal because Russell Wilson's.
I agree.
He also is there for 7 years, $250 million or something like that. The Broncos are paying him to be. Right now, he's garbage.
Is all that guaranteed?
No, not all of it's guaranteed because they got an extension. $124 million of that's guaranteed.
Wow.
And they can't get out of the deal until 2025 at the earliest.
Wow.
So it's bad. It's bad.
It's bad.
On QBR.
I feel bad for Russell Wilson, actually. I don't think he's a bad guy, He's just not playing well, and I think he's in an offense where he's very uncomfortable.
The clicking part it's questionable for me because I just don't see Hackett and Russell Wilson clicking that much because I think they have 2 different visions on how the offense should be run.
Yeah.
And Russell Wilson, a lot of his success was being able to run out of the pocket, scramble a little bit, gain some yards, and we saw that against the 49ers, and they won that game. It's a very, very low-scoring game, but it was due to his legs late in the game that allowed them to win, and it's just not happening. Russell Wilson in QBR, scale of 0 to 100, is 26 out of 33. 26 out of 33.
Pretty bad.
It's horrible. He's above quarterbacks like Justin Fields, Carson Wentz, Mac Jones, Jameis Winston, Davis Mills, Joe Flacco doesn't play anymot, and Baker Mayfield's been horrible. He's hurt right now, but
Mac Jones hasn't played for a while yet.
He's played 3 games. Yeah. 3 games. And he has a 33.5. Not good. But
what's Bailey Zappi's rating?
I don't think he's qualified. Yeah, no, he's not.
He doesn't qualify.
He's not a qualified quarterback to be on this list. But
there's 2.5 games.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe not a half a game.
Two and 3.5 quarters because Hoyer got hurt
right.
on the first drive.
That's right. It's almost 3 games.
Yeah, it's essentially 3 games.
Yeah.
2 games and however many drives minus 1. But I would say I'm nervous for the Broncos because Russell Wilson's going to be there for another 3 years, 2-3 years, and he's playing horrible. I had them being playoff team. I had them being a playoff team, and now I'm just questioning whether or not that's the case. But let's move on to our next topic. We're talking about the thriller that happened on Sunday. It was the 4:25 game. It was Chiefs at Bills, or it might have been Bills at Chiefs. But Bills played the Chiefs. This is going to be the next Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. Both quarterbacks actually had over 300 yards, and this was basically a battle of the Titans because the stat comparisons for the teams, the Chiefs and the Bills, were eerily similar, very eerily similar. Josh Allen had 318 passing yards. Pat Mahomes had 319. The Bills ran the ball a little bit better. Yards per play, 6.2 for the Bills, 6.3 for the Chiefs. First downs, 26-23 in favor of the Bills. They had the exact same third down efficiency. They each had 1 fourth down conversion. Total plays, the Bills had 11 more plays. Chiefs allowed 3 more sacks. So,
yeah, well, I think the Chiefs defense got tired near the end, and that's when
maybe
Buffalo marched down the field and got that score.
I think it's a little more than just that simple. But right now,
it was that close. I mean, it was that.
Tony Romo called it.
It was almost the teams were almost even.
To me, it didn't feel that close though.
And it was almost even. And
right
at the end, the Bills went down and scored that touchdown. And I think the Chiefs defense just ran out of gas.
I don't think the score says of how close it actually was. To me, it didn't feel that close. To me, it didn't feel that close whatsoever. The time of possession, the Bills had 31 minutes. The Chiefs had 28. But
that's not much difference.
I know, but the total yards, the Bills had 60 more yards. And there's a reason why at the preseason I put Josh Allen. I think even in my original top 10, I put Josh Allen number 1, Pat Mahomes number 2, maybe. Or I had Josh Allen always over Patrick Mahomes. I just think Josh Allen is better than Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes made his career essentially on throwing 75-yard passes to Tyreek Hill and having one-play touchdowns. That's how the Chiefs have been for the past 3 years. That isn't how it's going to be, and that can't be how it's going to be anymore because you don't have a Tyreek Hill. You just don't. So you're not going to have these long plays, and so Pat Mahomes needs to calm it down, throw it to the back if needed, play short game. And that just isn't the Chiefs right now.
Isn't that what he did in this game? And he didn't throw many long passes in the game, right?
They didn't throw that many because you can't. And they lost. And Pat Mahomes was sloppy again.
Not that they can't. That Hardman guy is a speed receiver.
Yeah, but he's not Tyreek Hill. He's nowhere near Tyreek Hill.
I didn't say he was, but that doesn't mean you can't throw the ball long.
Yeah, but he doesn't put fear in teams like Tyreek Hill did. Tyreek Hill, every team, as soon as the Bucs played 2 high safety in the Super Bowl, that next year, that's all they played. Every defense would try to play 2 high safety to try to not allow Tyreek Hill to get beyond the defensive backs. Right now, is Josh Allen an MVP? Is he the favorite to win MVP? And does this win mean the Bills are a lock to be the Super Bowl favorites?
I think Josh Allen's probably the leader in the MVP right now. And I can't say that any team is a lock for the Super Bowl, given the way this season is going. I mean, there's a lot of teams that you think, well, they're going to mow down this other team they're playing, and they wind up losing.
Right.
And you look at the Giants and the Jets as an example, right? Who thought they would be where they are right now?
Yeah.
It's a really surprising. And look at Pittsburgh beat the Bucs last week, and Atlanta beat San Francisco.
Right.
I mean, those games they had big point spreads on them, and very unexpected. Did T.J. Watt play?
No,
he didn't even play, no. and they beat Tom Brady. I was shocked by that.
I'm surprised you were that shocked because I'm going to bring the bite up.
Pittsburgh is they're terrible. They only won one game before that. Kenny Pickett is a rookie.
Right. But Kenny Pickett didn't even finish the entire game. It was Mitch Trubisky that really caused them the most problems because Kenny Pickett was out with a concussion a little bit later in the game. Mitch Trubisky came in, and we're going to get on. We're not focusing on that game for this episode, but we will go in our recap, of course, to talk about most of the games, I would say. Right now, Josh Allen is the MVP because Lamar and the Ravens suck. That's actually the next topic. We're going to talk about the Giants-Ravens. But the Ravens are horrible in the second half, horrible in the fourth quarter. They've given up 3 double-digit leads, and they were all losses. And this team, the Ravens team, just looks bad. Lamar was my MVP favorite back in week 3. And then it just fell off from there. Lamar, sloppy with the ball. Fourth quarter sucks. So right now, Josh Allen is my MVP favorite. And the Bills, I think in week 1, when we saw them beat the champions, I thought they were essentially Super Bowl locks, for me at least. I mean, this is the year they have to win it, essentially, because next year, who knows what's going to happen? Von Miller will still be there, but he'll be another year older. Stephon Diggs is going to be there. Josh Allen's going to be there, but who knows how the shakeup will be next year. So I think right now it's a win, or Buffalo's going to be like, hey, what the hell's going on? We're a great team.
We'll see. Buffalo looks great now. When they get into the playoffs, we'll see if the coaching staff can be up to the challenge of the other team.
I think they will be.
They choked last year.
They did. They did.
There was a coaching issue,
and it happened again this past week. It's just that it was at the end of the first half, so I'm not surprised. But we're gonna go to our first break here. Essentially next in the Harvey Hour, we're gonna be talking about: are the Giants a force to be reckoned with after the Ravens win? Are the Jets a playoff team after a 4-2 start? And who wins tonight? It's opening night for the NBA. Sixers, Celtics, Lakers, Warriors, and we do our Week 6 recap. All of that and more later on the Harvey Hour.
You have a lot to say. Maybe you've thought, I should start a podcast. Meet Anchor, the easiest way to make a podcast ever. It's a powerful mobile app and web tool that lets you record a podcast anywhere and distribute it everywhere. It's great whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out. And it's 100% free. You can record your show straight into Anchor on your phone, iPad, or the web, using any mic you want. Record alone or with friends or co-hosts anywhere in the world. You can add background music and transitions, and your listeners can send you voice messages that you can incorporate right into your next episode. If you want to produce your show using another app, you can upload your own audio directly from web or mobile, and still take advantage of Anchor's totally free podcast hosting. Once your podcast is ready to publish, Anchor can automatically distribute it to every major podcast platform. That includes Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify, so your listeners can hear your show wherever they want. And on the web, you can see detailed analytics about how people are listening. Plus, you'll get a great-looking profile page where anyone can listen to your podcast or subscribe to it. And if you want to ask your audience to support your work, Anchor makes it easy to collect monthly payments from the people who love your podcast and want to see it grow. You really don't need a recording studio, expensive equipment, or a bunch of technical knowledge to deal with a podcast feed. Just get started and join the diverse community of podcasters already on Anchor. We can't wait to hear your podcast.
Introducing video podcasts on Spotify.
Transform your storytelling into a show everyone can watch
or listen to.
Easily upload your video through Anchor, Spotify's free podcast creation tool.
So whether you're showing off a new recipe,
interviewing an exclusive guest,
or uncovering the next mystery,
you can now reach a whole new audience with Spotify.
Podcasting just became more than audio.
Create with Anchor, watch on Spotify.
Welcome back to the Harvey Hour. My name is Nathan Harvey. We're going to move on to our next topic, and as always, I'm joined alongside my dad, Stephen Harvey. We're talking about the Giants again. The Giants are once again headlining the Harvey Hour because they had a beautiful upset against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. Lamar played decently, especially not at the end, though. He played okay. 287 total yards. I think the game was way more one-sided, especially towards the end, than I think just the score. If you look at the box score, I think the eye test says more than the box score does. But passing yards, Lamar had 210, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. It's a costly pick. And he also had a fumble that sealed the win for the Giants. Kayvon Thibodeau able to strip sack Lamar at the very end of the game. Kenyon Drake, he played phenomenally. 119 rushing yards, 1 touchdown. So right now, we talked about this last Tuesday, or even I think maybe last Thursday. If the Giants win this game, they're a legit team. So, are the Giants a force to be reckoned with in the NFL, in the NFC, after this win?
I think so. For 2 reasons. One, their coaching staff is much better. They they have control over the offense in a way that makes Daniel Jones more of a game manager, and they're holding him accountable when he screws up. They're in his face about it, and he's performed much better. He's not turning the ball over like he's done in the past. And the offense, they recognize that Saquon Barkley is their number one offensive threat. They're handing him the ball a lot, and he's delivering. So I think the coaching staff has made a huge difference for the Giants. The other reason I think they're a contender is their schedule. It's a pretty easy schedule this year, and they've already won 5 games. They've won some games that nobody thought they were going to win, and beating Green Bay and beating Baltimore. Those are 2 of the toughest teams, it looked like anyway, on the schedule. Those were 2 of the toughest games they were going to have to play. You know, they have the Eagles twice. That's going to be tough. They have Dallas again, then they lost to Dallas. So, but they're 5-1. So they've got some easy games coming later in the season. So I think they could make the playoffs. I think they could.
Well, I guess I'm spoiling it a little bit for next week when I do my standings, but they will be a playoff team for me. They have won me over because I said they'll be 5-12 this year. Well, that would mean they would need to lose 11 straight if I'm going to be correct. And I don't see it. This team runs through Saquon Barkley. Without this rushing game, they wouldn't be anywhere close to where they are right now.
That says they've fixed their offensive line, which has been a sieve in the past.
Well, it still isn't a great offensive line.
But the coaching staff's made it much better, I think.
The coaching is phenomenal, and I think that's the biggest takeaway right now is the fact that the coaching, Brian Daboll, I said this last week, he's right now coach of the year.
Yeah.
I even after the first win, I was like, okay, the Giants are pretty well coached. They came back against the Titans. Saquon had a great game. And then you go up week 2, Panthers. You stayed in that game, able to win that. You lost to the Cowboys, but the Cowboys sacked you 6 times. 23 pressures. Hard to win. Hard to win when you're getting sacked that many times. Yeah. You go to the Bears, Saquon, a lot of Wildcat in there. A lot of Wildcat to get the big yards. And then against the Packers, your biggest plays came with Saquon. Now against the Ravens, defense was a very vital part
Their defense
of the
is
win.
good.
Their
they
defense
have a very
is
good defensive coordinator.
Yes.
He's made a big difference for them.
Especially against the Ravens, where he used to coach. I think it was a major key in slowing down and shutting Lamar
an impact, right? He knew the team very well.
Yes. And the next 2 games are at Jaguars, at Seahawks, and the Jaguars are looking to bounce back because they've had a decently ugly season, especially late. They started off pretty good. And now late, it seems
the Giants, if they're for real, they should win both those games.
Yes. Their next 4 games actually are relatively easy. The next actually 6 games, 5 of them are easy. At Jaguars, at Seahawks, Texans, Lions, Cowboys, Commanders. And then they visit the Eagles. So there's a good chance they win 10, 11 games. And that's...
Well, they got to win 10 probably to be a playoff contender.
I mean, with the way the NFC's looking, I think 9 would probably be sufficient to make the playoffs. But the Giants could be a 5-6 seed. They very well could be. I think they're going to make the playoffs unless someone figures out how to shut down or at least slow down
There could be 3 teams
Saquon.
making the playoffs in their division.
Yeah, it could be.
And you look at those teams 2 years ago, they were terrible. That was the weakest division in the NFL, I think.
For decades, it used to be.
For quite a long time. And now look at it. They're a powerhouse division.
Right. Well, the Eagles were not great for a large part of the 2010s. They had one Cinderella run.
Well, they beat the Patriots in the play and the
Right.
Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like they had that one Cinderella run with Nick Foles. But then other than that, they've been a rebuilding team for a number of years. Jalen Hurts was put in there, then taken out for Nate Sudfeld, and then people were questioning whether or not Jalen Hurts was the guy. They put him in, didn't do great. People were saying, draft another QB, but they just kept with it. But right now, the Giants look legit. The Ravens, on the other hand, don't look very good right now. They keep choking these double-digit leads. 10 points, 17 points. What was it, 24 points against the Dolphins? It was bad. The offense just...
What is their record now?
They're 3-3.
Okay. And in their division, they have the Browns and the...
Browns, Steelers, and Bengals.
Yeah. So the Bengals record is...
3-3.
Yeah. So who's in first place?
They're tied for first.
They're tied for... Well, I mean, who haven't they... have they played each other yet? The Bengals and the Ravens?
No.
No.
I don't think so.
So they are just straight up tied.
Oh, no, they did play.
Yeah.
They did play.
And didn't the
Baltimore
Ravens,
won. Baltimore won. Yes.
So Ravens
yes.
have
Yes.
the tiebreaker right now.
They do. So technically, I guess the Ravens are in first
Still
place.
in first place. So
Yeah.
I don't think I wouldn't write them off just yet.
I'm not writing them off and saying they're missing the playoffs. It's just right now things need to be fixed. Because for a large part, it was essentially, I guess we could call it, it was Lamar bust. And now it's, there's question marks about how the offense can run. The defense has so many great pieces. Marcus Williams, you have Marcus Peters, you have Clark. You had I don't know, Kyle Hamilton may be hurt. I'm not sure though. You had Kyle Fuller, he got hurt. Calais Campbell, Patrick Queen. Your defense should be better, but it's dead last in passing defense.
Oh.
It's just
They're not getting the pass rush then. They're not getting to the quarterback.
I guess not. Their rushing defense, I believe, is top 5, maybe top 10. I can look right now. They are 7th in yards allowed, so that's pretty good. It's pretty good for a defense.
Who's the top defense in the league right now?
It's the Bills.
And who's where do the Patriots stand in that right now?
Let me look it up for you. Patriots this year are, they're defense-wise 17th in rushing yards allowed and 14th in passing yards allowed.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I would have thought they'd have a higher ranking than that.
Absolutely not. No. Because they don't win.
Points allowed, they're right up there.
Points allowed, they're 7th.
Okay, that's pretty good.
I don't know about that. The Ravens, this is going to be something, because the reason why Lamar wasn't good early in his playoff career was that got an MVP, tried to prove that he was the MVP and tried to do too much. Now he's trying to chase a bag, and now he's trying to do, again, too much, and the offense has just been stagnant 3 times. And each of those times, they lost. Because Lamar just can't get the offense going because it's super dependent on him. They went out and got Deshaun Jackson today off the free agency to try to get that deep ball game down, because Deshaun Jackson is one of the greatest deep ball catchers of all time. Highlights of Michael Vick on the Eagles. You had the return against the Giants, the punt return against the Giants to win the game. I think it was last year, Rams-Bucks. He had that tremendous deep ball catch. I believe it might have been at the end of the half.
I can't believe nobody picked him up until now.
Yeah, I think he's like 34 years old, so it's the age. But I think he was also on the Raiders. Played, I think, a couple games for them. I don't think he was there for very long. So I think the Giants, I think they're a force to be reckoned with. That defense is coming alive right now. Rushing game has always been there. Saquon is still the number 1 running back in the league for me. Brian Daboll, Coach of the Year. The Ravens look a little bit shaky, though. Ravens do look shaky. Lamar, another interception. 2 turnovers in this game. It was an ugly game for Lamar and the Ravens. But we're going to stay with NFL. We're going to stay with New York football. Because talk about the Jets. The Jets did, in fact, stomp the Packers 27-10. Rodgers, 246 yards, a touchdown. Breece Hall, another 100-plus yard game. He has over 300 total yards in the past 2 games. He also scored another touchdown in this game. So, after what we've seen, another upset, which I told you, my intuition last week said that the Jets might win this game. And yeah, my intuition's right. You should always go with your intuition, generally. So, are the Jets a playoff team after their 4-2 start?
Still debatable.
So, what are you saying?
I
Maybe
think that their division is tough.
they're right now
think
second in the division.
I understand, but they haven't played many games in the division yet,
Okay.
right? So they beat Miami, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
they whooped
Yeah, but
Miami.
They haven't played the Bills yet.
They have not.
That's 2 losses.
Maybe.
They haven't played the Patriots yet. The Patriots will have an answer for Zach Wilson.
Yeah,
I guarantee
hey,
it.
but the Jets defense is really good. Really good.
Yeah, well,
The question mark is, though, can you stop Brees Hall? Which I'm pretty sure Belichick will be emphasizing on because
sure.
he did a good job with Nick
takes
Chubb.
away your best. Look what he did to Nick Chubb.
Right.
Nick Chubb didn't do anything in that game.
Right.
So I think that it's debatable. I think the Jets have a tougher schedule than the Giants, and I think they haven't gotten into the heart of it yet. They haven't played Buffalo yet, and they haven't played the Patriots yet in their division, and they have 2 games against each, and I think that's going to be very tough for them.
I'm going to go with they're the 8 or 7 seed. So I think they're basically on the brink of a playoff team because Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, they're legit. They are legit corners. Then you also have Jermaine Johnson on the defensive line. He's good. CJ Mosley, he's good.
Yeah.
He's
He's actually playing this year. He's been hurt for so many years.
You have Williams. He's good. Your offense seems to be doing. Your offensive line's pretty good. It's not great, but good enough. Zach Wilson doesn't need to be throwing the ball that much.
No,
and
they're not letting
games.
him. I think that's a game management
Well-
situation too.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, if you're running the ball efficiently, you don't need to run.
Yeah,
you
well,
don't need
that's
to
what
pass
they're
the ball.
trying to do.
I mean, look at
Run first.
look at the Patriots last year against the Bills. Mac Jones threw it 3 times. They ran the ball the entire game
Yeah.
and they won. But hey,
Well, that game, the weather played a role in that.
there was
Yeah,
winds.
You could not
high
throw it.
winds.
It was very hard to throw the ball.
Buffalo
at all.
tried, but I do
They
think
lost.
yeah. Look what happened after that. 2 straight games, 0 punts, 2 dominating
I
wins
know.
for the Bills.
After that, it was different. But in that particular game, Belichick had the better strategy.
Right. So right now, I think they're the 7 or 8 seed. I think they're definitely up there in the AFC. They beat up on the Packers. They did a pretty good job. The defense pretty much shut down Aaron Rodgers. I think
What's
that
the rest of their schedule look like?
the Jets are the Packers.
Jets.
The Jets. The Jets are playing the Broncos next. They're 3-point underdogs in that game somehow.
I don't know. That might change.
I'm picking the Jets.
That's probably going to change.
I'm picking the Jets.
Yeah.
Then they play the Patriots, Bills, Patriots.
No, that could be some losses there.
Bears, Vikings, Bills. That should be 2 losses.
Vikings, Bills, yeah.
Lions, Jaguars, Seahawks, Dolphins. I think you might lose to the Dolphins just because Tua's definitely gonna be back by
Yeah.
then. So, I think there's a decent chance you could make that 7 seed. I'm not saying they're like the Giants and
Well, how
make
many
the 5
wins
or
do you
6
give them from now on? Well,
I'm saying that they're beating the Broncos. They're gonna split with the Patriots. So
wait a
that's
minute.
2.
So that's 5. That's 6 games.
6. Yep. They're.
Buffalo, they're not going to beat.
I don't think the defense is way too good. The Bears, they're winning that.
7.
I'm gonna say they lose to the Vikings.
Yeah.
Wait, is that a primetime game? I don't think it is. If it's a primetime game, I'm giving it to the Jets. 1 p.m. game, give it to the Vikings. Lions, they'll beat.
Yeah.
Jaguars, they'll beat. Seahawks, they'll beat. Dolphins, they'll lose.
Okay, so that's 11 wins. That would get them into the playoffs, but I don't know if they'll beat the Jaguars.
I mean, if the I think the Jaguars
And
play
I
the
don't
Giants.
think they might not beat the Patriots either.
I said they split. I said they split with the
I know,
Patriots.
but that means they beat them once. So that might
I
not
think they
happen.
can. I think they can because the way the defense is looking, Bailey Zappi played well, but they're gonna probably put in Mac Jones again.
Yeah.
Mac Jones did not look great. He had one
I'd
decent
say,
game.
you know what? They put Mac Jones back in and he doesn't look great, they'll bench him.
Then you just wasted a 1st-round pick on him.
Well, that doesn't mean he'll be out forever, but they might. I bet they pull him out. I bet they don't. I bet he has a short leash, and I bet he knows it too.
I personally, I wouldn't go that far. I would not go that far. but if you're saying I have them 10-11 wins, I think if the Giants lose to the Jaguars, then I think the Jets will lose to the Jaguars.
Too bad the Giants and Jets don't play each other this year.
Yeah.
That would be fun to watch.
Yeah, that would be. I think what they played last year, or I don't know when they played. They played recently. Just I don't think they played. They might have played last year. I'm not sure though. But I'm saying the Jets right now are legit. I'm buying into the Jets, and the Jets, yeah, like I said, 3-point underdogs against the Broncos. I think that is that. I don't think that's legit. I'm not sure why the Jets are underdogs after whooping the Dolphins 40-17.
That may change. I think that might change. Just the
It
way
should change. Oh no, it did change.
Play.
It did change today. It was 3 earlier today. Now it's -1.5. Still in favor of Denver though.
That's only because Denver's at home, probably.
And Jacksonville's favored against the Giants this week as well at -3.
Jacksonville's favored against the Giants?
Yeah, -3.
And they're playing at Jacksonville?
Yes.
Oh, well.
And also Tampa Bay is -10.5. I'm picking Carolina +10.5 this week. After what I saw from Tom Brady and the Bucs, I was. We'll get into it. But really quickly, we are going to talk about today because in 23 minutes, the Celtics do open up. We're going to talk about the Lakers. We're going to focus on Lakers Warriors, but I just want your quick pick. Lakers Celtics tonight in 23 minutes. Open up on TNT. The spread is -3.5 in favor of Boston. Boston, Philadelphia. Who you picking tonight?
Boston.
To being Boston. I'm taking Philly because Boston coaching issues, internal issues. I'm not sure. We'll see how it is, but
I think they'll use that as a motivator.
Maybe. We'll see. Boston played real. You know what? I'll go Boston. I will go Boston because in the preseason they look really, really good. But let's focus on the highlight of tonight, the main game tonight. Even though they're playing one after another, not overlapping.
What do you mean? I'd say the Celtics Philadelphia is the main game.
Well, that's just because you're a Boston fan. America, it's Lakers. America, Lakers, Warriors. The Warriors, the former champions. The Lakers have LeBron. They've been the story
Is that
for the past couple of years. It's at Warriors. Yes, the Warriors are favored. I had it up 2 seconds ago. -7. It was -6.5 last night, so they moved it.
I think they'll win.
I agree with you. The Warriors will win. But LeBron, 18-24 career record against Steph Curry. That's, I believe, including the playoffs. The Lakers are looking to bounce back. They were in 11th place last year, missed out on the play-in tournament, missed out on the playoffs in total. 33-49 record. So you said the Warriors will win. Why do you think the Warriors will win?
I think they're the better team.
Okay.
Right?
What about them is better?
Well, they have a younger team, number one, and they have they were the champions last year. So, and the Lakers only won 33 games last year.
Right.
So, I think that it'll be an entertaining game. I'm pretty sure, but I think that over the course of the season, the Lakers are going to have injuries because they're old. And they have a lot of question marks on their team with Russell Westbrook playing for them. He didn't do well last year. LeBron hurt some last year. And who's the other guy, the big guy?
Anthony Davis.
He's injured a lot, too. So I don't think the Lakers will make it through the season without a lot of problems. And I think the Warriors are younger and more athletic.
I'm going to agree with you. I think the Warriors will win, but I don't think it'll be that close of a game. The Lakers did just lose 133-86 to the Sacramento Kings in the preseason. I think internally they have problems. Russell Westbrook doesn't want to be there. The Lakers don't want him there. They have increased the tempo of trying to get Russell Westbrook out of the building via a trade, but no team will trade for him because they also want the 2 first-round picks the Lakers have in 2027 and 2029, I believe. The Lakers will not give up those 2 picks because they're unprotected picks, and by then the Lakers are probably going to be a bad team, so they'll be pretty high up first-round picks. But the Lakers, there's a lot of problems. It isn't just Russell Westbrook, even though he is a main piece of the problems that are on the Lakers. I think the main problem is that they just can't defend. They're bottom third of the league in defense. They're not good. They're not efficient. Like you said, they're old. They can't shoot well. They have next to no shooters. Pat Beverly, they got him, but he's not the defender he once was. He's not really a nuisance as he used to be. You have a couple nice pieces. You have Kendrick Nunn, who's not that bad. Austin Reeves, he's a big question mark. I'm not really too excited about him. Scottie Pippen Jr., Who knows how he'll be? He's on a 2-way contract. Russell Westbrook, he got hurt. He's going to play in this game, though. He's going to play tonight. They want him out. He's not in a huddle. He's having problems. There's obviously internal conflict. LeBron, like you said, he's old. Will he stay healthy? That's the big question mark. Along with Anthony Davis, will he stay healthy? That's also a huge question mark. But the Lakers can't defend. They can't shoot. They're slow. Russell Westbrook has no hands, and he's a point guard. That's one of the biggest features of a point guard, is to be able to pass the ball properly. I played point guard for a number of years. I have some idea of how a point guard should play.
Oh, yeah.
And Russell Westbrook is not a great point guard.
Yeah.
I think he relies very, very heavily on his athleticism, which when he gets older, he doesn't really have that anymore, because that's just what happens when you age. Your athleticism tends to decline, and Russell Westbrook is explosive, and he just can't be that explosive player anymore.
Yeah. Well, the one issue the Warriors may have is the team chemistry with the Draymond Green issue.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see how that plays.
Yeah.
But I think maybe
they just gave Poole a big contract, right?
Yeah, Poole and Wiggins both got a 4-year extension.
Yeah.
I think it's like over $250 million total amongst the two of them.
Wow.
I don't think Draymond Green, I don't think, will be there next year. I just don't see it. I guess, you know what, we'll see if obviously the starting lineup will probably be Steph, Clay, Wiggins, Draymond, and then Looney. That'll probably be my guess, the starting 5. Will Draymond Green and Jordan Poole be on the court at the same time? My guess is probably. They're probably just going to keep it. They're going to probably keep a basketball relationship, but externally, I don't think they're going to get along very well.
I don't either.
At the end of the year, they might be friends again. Who knows? We'll see, because winning cures a lot. Winning does cure a lot. So if they're winning, I think they'll be winning.
I think the Warriors will be right there again this year.
I agree with you. And right now,
they really did a lot. They have their pieces in place, I think, right? They gave those two guys, very good players, 4-year extensions.
Yeah.
And Steph Curry is with them. How many more years has he got on his contract?
I think it's 2 more.
Yeah.
They'll
re-up him somehow. Sure.
Maybe. He's, 34 years old now? How much longer do you think he's going to play?
Probably play till he's 40, I would think.
I don't know about that. He's 34 right now. Let's see.
He can easily play till he's 40. Somebody can bring him off the bench just to be.
Yeah, but I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna play off the bench.
He's gonna want to play.
He's there until 2025, 2026.
I say.
He signed a 4-year, $215 million extension August 6th of 2021.
Oh wow.
He's making $48 million a year.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's gonna go up to 59 in 2025, 2026.
We can watch all the games, right? We have that signed up.
Yeah.
That's
well, I mean,
good.
it's on TNT anyway, so
yeah,
it's nationally broadcast, but we can watch any game. But I'm picking the Warriors, even though they have LeBron. Anthony Davis is healthy at the moment. Russell Westbrook, we'll see how he plays. It's probably going to be bad. I'll pick the Warriors. I don't think the Lakers are going to go very far this season because they still have a lot of problems that they haven't solved. So Warriors are my pick tonight. Are you going to take the 7 spread, though? Or are you going to say they win by more than 7?
No, I don't think they will.
So you say Lakers plus 7.
Yeah.
I say Warriors blowout. We're talking 15 points. 15-point Warrior win. I just think that I think that's where the Warriors are going. I think they're too explosive. Lakers can't defend. Warriors, we'll see how they shoot the 3. I think it'll be very interesting to see if Jordan Poole and Draymond Green get on the court at the same time. I want to see how that works out.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Well, you can watch the game tonight.
Yeah, no, we will. And
I don't think I will. I'll be going to bed.
15 minutes until
Celtics
Sixers, and the Yankees will probably win and move on to the ALCS and lose
to Houston.
Yeah, even though I had the Guardians winning, or you had the Guardians winning. Or
no, I didn't.
No, you had
I had the Yankees.
I had the Rays winning. Guardians replaced them. I had the Rays moving on. So I'll be wrong on all fronts. Padres though. Padres beat the. Sorry. Padres beat the Dodgers, which was a shock to me. But we're going to move on to week 6 recap. Let's start with your picks. You have your picks right there.
Terrible.
We can go. It's not that bad, actually.
6 and 8.
It's not too bad. Not too bad.
6 and 8. I'm not getting closer to 500. I want to get there.
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right. So
this point spread, it's pretty bad. Right. I couldn't believe, the Chicago didn't win. It was a crummy game to watch, right? It was low scoring, only had one touchdown in the whole game, and the Bears had won both their home games, and they flushed it to the Commanders, and they should have won the game. They were right down there, and turned the ball over. It was just a poor game. So much for that one. I got the Vikings correct over the Dolphins, and Teddy Bridgewater played the whole game, right? He played, yeah.
No.
Played most of it, right?
I don't think he played most of it.
Yeah,
no.
he did.
Because Skylar Thomas got hurt when? The first quarter?
Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater had pretty big numbers.
Pretty big. Defined pretty big.
Well.
He didn't have great numbers. Actually, no, I'm wrong. Wow.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Yeah, 329 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks.
Right. And the Vikings still won. I think the Vikings are a team to be reckoned with. Patriots won. I couldn't believe the point spread was only 2.5, and they were underdogs against the Browns. Bill Belichick, he's always got an answer for a team like that. I knew they were going to win. San Francisco against the Falcons. I was very shocked by this one, that the San Francisco gave up 28 points to the Falcons. That surprised me a lot. And Jimmy G didn't play very well, right? He had a couple of picks. So that was a shocker. I got both the point spread and the win-loss wrong on that one. The Bucs losing to the Steelers. I couldn't believe that. T.J. Watt not playing. They never win a game. That's the first game they've ever won without him in there since he started playing for them. So I was shocked by this. Brady had a decent game, but seems like the team around him is not what it used to be, huh? The defense was lousy. And, Kenny Pickett was in there most of the game. He's a rookie. And Trubisky replaced him after he got hurt, and I guess he did pretty well. So I was shocked by this one. But I do think the Steelers have good coaching. I like Mike Tomlin, and he has Brian Flores with him on that coaching staff. So they have good coaching. Maybe they can resurrect their season. They're 2-4 now. So we'll see. They're in a division where they could make some noise. So we'll see what happens. I got the Bengals right over the Saints, but it was touch and go there for a while. But the Bengals pulled it out. And then the Jets, I was shocked that Green Bay didn't win at home against the Jets. I got the point spread right on this one, though. So that was a shocker to me. The Colts, I have still not gotten the Colts right once this season. It's a surprise to me, but maybe better luck next time. I thought that maybe the Colts finally they said we got to get revenge against the Jaguars for beating us last year and keeping us from going to the playoffs. And Matt Ryan seems to be playing better now, so I don't know. We'll see what happens with the Colts next week. Maybe I'll have to pick them. Seahawks against the Cardinals. I got that one wrong. I was surprised that the Seahawks were able to do it. I think it says something about the parity in the NFL this year. A lot of teams kind of equal to one another, and some of the teams you thought were going to be horrible are actually better than what we expected. Rams got the win. I knew that was going to happen. Covered the spread. The Bills and the Chiefs, that was a great game. I thought the Chiefs would win because they were at home. I was wrong. The Eagles against the Cowboys, I got that right, but missed on the point spread. I think the Eagles are still undefeated. Pretty sure they're going to win that division and make some noise in the playoffs. Jalen Hurts is better than I thought he would be. And they got a good coach. And they got some real talent on both the offense and the defense. So they're a team to be reckoned with. The Chargers, as we talked about this game, they both teams tried hard to lose it. The Chargers give their kicker a gold medal in that game. He was hurt from the first kick, and he still stayed in there and kicked some not real short field goals. He managed to kick them all. He didn't miss one of them, even though he was hurt. So good for the Chargers.
All right, so you didn't do that bad this week. You
6-8. You got to have a winning record when you pick these games.
that's true. Obviously, that's true.
How'd you do?
I did okay. I barely got a winning record. I'm almost 500 for the spread. I'm slowly gaining back on the spread. Let's go to my picks. Very, very close. I think we're actually we're not as close as I thought we were, but
No, you're pretty far ahead of me right now.
for wins loss, I'm doing really well. 14 games over 500.
Yeah,
That's
let's
pretty
see,
good.
You won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Here,
6,
just take this paper.
7.
There
7
you go.
wins.
What do you mean 7? I had more than 7 wins, didn't I?
I'm counting 7 W's there. 3, 4,
I have 8.
5, 6.
I have 8. 4 on the left,
3, 4, 3, 7.
3 in the
yeah,
middle,
8.
1 on the right. So I went 500. I went 1 game over 500. But Commanders, I knew they would win that game. Commanders should have won, and they did win. Vikings, on the other hand, should have won as well. Skylar Thompson moved to Teddy Bridgewater, almost lost the game, 24-16. Patriots, like you said, shocked their underdogs. Shocked. 49ers lost basically due to injuries. Most of their team was injured. I mean, if most of your team's hurt on defense, you're probably going to lose because your defense is like the number one thing that you need. And then this next game, Bucs-Steelers. You asked me, and I was just listening to it. You asked, Nate, why are the Bucs on your Harvey hot hand? And I told you I had a funny feeling. You also asked why the Rams also aren't, and I told you basically.
That's a good one to put there.
Well, yeah. Well, I basically said I'd be surprised if they win by less than 14, and they won actually exactly by 14. But the Bucs one, I was telling you, I was like, I'm not too sure. I mean, if we're talking about exciting best bets, the Bucs are not the best bet, and I was right with that. The Bucs lost. Brady did not play very well. Brady did not play very well. He was under 50% passing in the first half. He's able to bring it back a little bit.
Still had almost 300 yards passing.
Yeah, but still though, like that at that point,
He had a touchdown pass, no interceptions.
he hasn't thrown the ball away. He thrown the ball away once this year, which is pretty good. But it's just touchdowns lowest since like 2006. It's just he's not playing very well. He's been average at very best.
He got under a lot of pressure.
Not as much as you might think. He's being pressured.
Our offensive line is patchwork right
No,
now.
his offensive line is not great, and he's actually kind of the one who needs it the most just because of his age. He's 45 years old. You talk about being pressured. Tom Brady is actually bottom 10 in pressures. He's pressured on 12.5% of his dropbacks. So it's not that high compared to some of the other quarterbacks. He's been hurried 7 times, 16 hits. It's not a lot. It's really not a lot. It's just they played bad. The Steelers' defensive line, yes, the Steelers were out their first 3, their top 3 corners. It didn't matter really. It really didn't matter. The offensive line, Larry Ogunjobi got to Brady, bothered him. Brady was dropping F-bombs on the sideline, saying we need to play better. You guys could play so much better than you are right now. Off the field stuff's affecting him right now. This is the most emotional Brady I've seen. And, it's like Draymond Green. He can't internalize it. He's having a problem with it. Where's his support? Brady's always been supportive of his teammates, trying to get them to do better. Who's supporting him right now? Since he's playing bad, who's supporting him? Right now, it's nobody.
Certainly not his wife.
Yeah, no, his wife's gone. Bengals, Saints. Hey, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, they seem to be in really, really good connection. This is the first time they went back to Louisiana since they played at LSU in the national championship game. They played great. They played phenomenally. This one, I was shocked, but I was smart enough to pick the Giants plus 5.5 because I knew they would do something weird, keep it close, and they ended up winning the game. So good for the Giants. Bad for the Ravens. Ravens suck, apparently, in the second half, and especially late in the fourth quarter. Giving up 3 double-digit leads. It's just been bad. It's been very, very bad. Lamar right now has dropped down in MVP voting for me. People are saying, he leads the league in total yards. No, he doesn't. Josh Allen still leads the league in total yards. Hate to break it to you. Next one, I told you. Intuition. Always, if you get that funny feeling, it usually means you should go with it. And with the Jets, I was right. I said on the show, before the game goes live, If I feel the Jets are going to win before kickoff, I will change it, and I did change it, and they ended up winning. Regardless, I still had the plus 7.5, so I would have been right on the spread anyway. But I did choose the Jets to win, and they did. Packers do not look good. Aaron Rodgers, in particular, doesn't look good. Bottom 10 quarterback in the league right now. So it's really just a toss about how good the Packers will be. But the Jets, 4-2. I said 7-8 seed. Next one, Jaguars. I thought the Jaguars would have the Colts number. Apparently not. Apparently it was just a one-off thing recently. So Jaguars lost. I think they're going to seek revengeance, at least in this next upcoming game against
the Jaguars' record now?
They're 2-4.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to try to get back and work on it. Next one, Cardinals, Seahawks. Seahawks, they're pretty good. They slowed down Kyler Murray, forced him to not really do that well. Kyler Murray, Cliff, what's going on in Arizona? Is it Kyler Murray? Is it Cliff Kingsbury? Is Cliff Kingsbury the coach that for Kyler Murray? I would say if I'm looking at who's more responsible for the lack of success on the Cardinals the past couple years, I'm going to give it to Cliff Kingsbury. He's going to take most of the blame for me. Because Kyler Murray, he
has to, because they already gave Murray that big contract.
Well, even if they didn't, I would still say Cliff Kingsbury coaching is off. They have a lot of talent to be this bad. And, well, it shows because they just lost to the Seahawks. Geno Smith played well again. Kenneth Walker played really well.
How many games the Seahawks won now?
3. They're 3-3.
3-3. That's pretty good for them when we thought they would be last in the league this year.
Yeah. Same with the Falcons. Falcons are playing really well. They're tied for number 1 in the division.
The Falcons are?
Well, technically the Bucs have the upper hand because they lost to them, but they're 3-3 as well. Same with the Bucs. Rams won by 14 points at the Panthers. Robbie Anderson got kicked out of that game, then got traded today to the Cardinals. So he's now on the Cardinals. Robbie Anderson got traded. It's sort of breaking news.
DeAndre Hopkins was activated.
He's also active.
That may make a difference.
Hollywood Brown is injured. They thought season ending. It's looking a little bit better than season ending. He might be there later on in the year. Maybe. We'll see. There's still tests There's still tests being done to see exactly what's wrong with Hollywood Brown and his timeline for a return. But the Rams, it was an ugly first couple quarters. Running game's bad. They're trying to trade away Cam Akers. Henderson played okay. Allen Robinson was okay in this game. Cooper Kupp, he's Cooper Kupp.
Maybe they'll go for Christian McCaffrey. Maybe. It seems like there were rumors out that the Panthers may be trying to blow up the team to try to start from stage 1. Start rebuilding, and it looks exactly like that. They're shopping Christian McCaffrey. There could be potential shopping of DJ Moore. Baker Mayfield's their quarterback. He doesn't really seem like the option here. Matt Rule got fired. Their DC got fired. The Panthers are a bad team. And it was kind of sort of jumping on the bandwagon a little bit when I picked them as the 7th seed for the playoffs. Next one, Bills, Chiefs. I knew Josh Allen and the Bills would go out and catch this dub against the Chiefs. They choked last year in the playoffs. 13 seconds. You played bracket coverage with 2 timeouts for the Chiefs. You gave up that 13 seconds. They drove all the way down, able to tie up the game, won in overtime on a coin flip. Cooper Rush had a bad game at the Eagles. It was not a great game. 26-17. It was an ugly game. Micah Parsons was basically a no-show for the entire game. Not looking too good for the Cowboys, but I think the defense will bounce back. I think Micah Parsons will have a good game next week. The Eagles, they're 6-0. Their schedule favors them. I think the most likely option would be 14-3, 13-4. But if you look at it, it's looking like a potential 17-0 in reality. The schedule is not that hard. I don't think they're going 17-0.
You would generally think, well, obviously, because 17-0, there's only been one completed undefeated team, and that was the 72 Dolphins.
17-0 is only the regular season. The Dolphins won all the way through the playoffs too.
Well, yeah, we'll see that because their schedule.
The Patriots had an undefeated regular
season, yeah. But I just think they're playing the Steelers, Texans. They have a bye week next week, but Steelers, Texans, Commanders, Colts, Packers, Titans, Giants, Bears, Cowboys, Saints, Giants. Colts, maybe. Titans, maybe. Giants.
I think the Giants might be able to split with the Eagles.
I just don't. I really don't. Because, yeah, you might be able to stop the running back, but Jalen Hurts still out there. What are you going to do with A.J. Brown?
Every team has 1 week that's not so good. So some teams can survive it and pull out a win. We'll see with the Eagles.
It would be interesting to watch. And then the Chargers Broncos, ugly game. We open with that ugly game, but Chargers able to get the win. I think Dustin Hopkins is their kicker. Good for him, kicking the game-winning field goal. Injured through basically the entire game. Takes guts to stay in there, kick the game winner, and stay kicking.
We should have got the game ball for that game.
I'm sure he did in the locker room. I'm sure he did. But a lot of question marks surrounding that Broncos team. I don't think they're good. They're nowhere near good. Dead last in points scored.
A good defense, terrible offense.
Yeah. I mean, the defense is keeping teams
The defense
low scoring.
is good.
Yeah,
they played very well. They made the Chargers look bad. The Chargers have a high-powered offense.
Right. So we'll see what the true nature of the Broncos is later on in the season, but they do not look good right now. And Russell Wilson also does not look very good. But I think it could be coaching. I think it could be the offensive production just in general. But I think that about wraps it up for us now. The game just started. Celtics 76ers, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time on TNT. Lakers right after them at about 10 p.m. Eastern. But that does wrap it up for us at the Harvey Hour here. My name's Nathan Harvey. That's my dad, Stephen Harvey. We are the Harvey Hour. We'll see you guys Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on
before
YouTube.
we go,
What?
Did you say anything about the studio? How we've
Yeah,
decorated it?
I'm sure you guys have noticed. We've redecorated the Harvey Hour setup.
Whoa, nice.
But
Your favorite Tom Brady, as you can see.
yeah.
And we have Malcolm Butler
49,
intercepting the
Brady.
pass in the Super Bowl. Huh? Pretty good.
We're not done though. There's some surprises that are coming up in the coming months. But for us here though, that'll wrap it up for us here. Make sure you tune in Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube. Harvey Hour. We have a lot planned with Thursday night football. Thursday night football game is, I have no idea. I'm gonna look that up right now because
Another stinker.
maybe there was news today about Amazon. There will be a Black Friday game next year. They decided right after Thanksgiving they're gonna have an NFL game. Teams are to be determined, so we will see what that is. But has there ever been a Friday game? Friday NFL game?
I remember seeing a Friday game. Pretty soon they'll have a game on every night.
That'll be interesting. Saints Cardinals.
Saints Cardinals.
We'll see how that does. We'll see.
Saints at Cardinals.
Yes, each 2-4. But then after, we have what should be a good matchup.
What's out the point spread on that one?
I could look that up. But after that though, 10-27, 2022. We should have a good matchup. We don't know how it's going to turn out, but it's going to be Bucks Ravens. That should be good. Should be. We with the way the NFL season's going, there's a lot of question marks. -1.5 Cardinals. So, I guess we're not live on Thursday. So I guess who are you going to go for, Cardinals or Saints? -1.5 in favor of Cardinals.
Right now, I'm picking the Cardinals.
I'm going Saints. So I'm glad we disagree. I just think that Saints defense could disrupt Kyler Murray. Cam Jordan, Marshawn Lattimore. We'll see if he stays healthy, though. He was out last game. Taysom Hill. We'll see how Taysom Hill plays. But yes, that will wrap it up for us here officially. Thursday Night Football, recap that game, make our predictions for week number 7. 7 weeks at the end. We're already like a third of the way through the year.
It's unbelievable.
It's crazy. We're almost halfway through. And then next Tuesday, I make my final adjustments to the standings. There's a lot planned in the upcoming weeks of the Harvey Hour. Basketball starting up. I'm sure we'll talk about some of the games coming up for the NBA.
And the baseball
playoffs. Right
Did the
now.
Yankees win?
Probably, yeah. I'll be surprised if they don't win. Because was it 5-1? Yeah, 5-1 Guardians, October 18th. Final, yeah. Yankees are going on to the ALCS to play the Astros. Astros is this a 7-game series? I'm pretty sure it's a 7-game series. I'll pick Astros in 5. Astros in 5.
Huh.
Who are you going with?
I think it will go. I think it's going 7 games.
Who do you have winning?
Astros.
You have Astros, okay. What about Padres, Phillies? First of all, Phillies beating the Braves. That was crazy.
I didn't think the either team would get this far, so I'm surprised. I think the Phillies are the Cinderella team, so I'm picking the Phillies.
You're picking the Phillies to go all the way. And
Not
then,
all the way.
Well, you have the Astros winning, but I'm talking about making it to the World Series.
I have the Astros getting the World Series, and now I'm picking the Phillies, so I guess I'm getting that. They're getting there, too.
I'm going Padres,
You
Astros.
know what? I got to think about that.
I'm going Padres, Astros. Those are my World Series picks because I had the Dodgers losing to whoever won the Padres Mets series anyway. I had the Mets going all the way.
Yeah. Well, I think Houston's going to win it all, whoever they play.
I had the Mets winning the World Series. Is the National League going to win again? 2 years in a row. Braves won last year. I'm going to say no because I want Dusty Baker to win one.
Yeah.
I'm going Astros win. Astros win the World Series. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay, well, you're changing up. You're changing up now from what you...
Well, I started 0 for 4, so my entire bracket was just murdered after the first, weekend. So I'm starting over, starting fresh. We'll see. Actually, I may change. If the Phillies go out and they, dominate the first 3 games, because they dominated the Braves series. So you're picking the Phillies to make it to the World Series. If I think the Phillies are going to, dominate, I might say, yeah, Phillies. Cinderella story. Let me choose them to win. Who knows? But just for the AL and NLCS, I'm going Astros and
You just said
Padres. Yeah. I was thinking. But
Bryce Harper. Kyle Schwarber.
Juan Soto. Hater.
Juan Soto.
Musgrove.
Hasn't played that well.
Musgrove.
Maybe the Padres pitching is a little better, but they have Zach Wheeler.
Yeah.
The Phillies have Zach Wheeler. I think the Cinderella team. I think they might make it.
They were surprising. They're surprising. They were the 6th seed this year. I'm mad they beat the Cardinals though. I want to see
I know.
Wainwright, Yachty,
didn't pick
and
them.
Albert Pujols.
I had them losing in the first right off the bat there.
Kind of sucks though. Albert Pujols, Yadier Molina, Wainwright, all their last years, they end to the Phillies, the 6th seed Phillies.
I know.
But
well, at least Pujols got his.
I was gonna say, at least he got 700 plus home runs.
Plus, he's got a World Series ring.
He does.
Yeah.
What was it? 2011 was it?
I don't know. It was a while ago.
Because it was David Freese. He had that triple to tie up the game. Then he hit like a game winner or something like that. That was great. Last time the Phillies won the World Series was 2008, and then they made it back-to-back, but lost to the Yankees 2009, which was the last time the Yankees, I believe, made the World Series and won it. So, I don't know. The Astros, they lost last year, right? They made and lost to the Braves.
Yeah.
What was the last time they won? Was it 20... Did they win in 2019? No, the Dodgers won, I believe.
Yeah. Well, they won one.
They won 2017, and that's when Manfred was like, I don't know why you care so much. It's just a piece of metal. And that sent baseball fans and players into a frenzy when he said that, because that's when the Astros cheating scandal came out. The Yankees and Red Sox were also involved in that as well. Yankees and Red Sox both tried to master that method. The Astros did sort of master it. The Yankees were looking into it, and then Alex Cora got suspended for a year. Yeah. The Red Sox were horrible that year. But yeah, there's a lot of sports going on. I'm sure we'll be keeping up to date with it.
Sports are great.
Sports
we love sports.
Phenomenal. But yeah, this is the official end of the Harvey Hour. My name's Nathan Harvey. That's Stephen Harvey. Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Picks, recaps, stuff moving forward, breaking news, NBA news, baseball news, whole 9 yards. But that is it for us. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys Friday.
Bye-bye.